Women are not looking at your face the way you think they are. They're looking at what you're wearing. And more importantly, they're reading what you're wearing like a detective reading a crime scene. Every button, every fabric, every choice you made when you got dressed this morning is telling her a story about who you are, what kind of life you live, and whether or not you're the kind of man worth her time. Now, here's the part that's going to hurt a little. Most older men have absolutely no idea what signals they're sending. They think they've aged out of the game. They throw on whatever's clean, shuffle out the door, and wonder why the woman at the coffee shop barely looks up. Meanwhile, the guy 3 tables over, same age, same height, same bald spot, is getting her full attention. Why? He's wearing the right things. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 items, the 7 specific things that older men wear that make women lean in without even knowing why. These aren't trends. These aren't fashion magazine nonsense. These are the real, tested, proven pieces that trigger something deep in the feminine brain that says, this man is different. Pay attention. Stick with me all the way to number 7 because that last one is the secret weapon most men never figure out. And once you know it, you can't unsee it. Let's get into it. Number 1, the well-fitted white shirt. I'm going to start with something that sounds almost too simple. A plain, crisp, white button-down shirt. You're probably thinking, come on, that's it. That's your big opening. Let me explain why this is not just a shirt. This is a psychological weapon when worn correctly by an older man. Here's what women have told me over and over in my coaching work. A white shirt on an older gentleman does something specific. It frames the face. It makes gray hair look distinguished instead of tired. It makes a tanned forearm look like it belongs on a boat in the Mediterranean. And when the sleeves are rolled up just twice, not sloppily, not up to the elbow like you're about to do dishes, but 2 clean folds just below the elbow, you have triggered something primal in her. That exposed forearm with a watch on it against the clean white of the cotton is the single most underrated attraction cue in men's style. But here's where most men blow it. They wear a white shirt that fits like a tent. It billows. It hangs off them like a bedsheet. They tuck it in badly. They button it all the way to the collar. And suddenly, instead of looking like a man who owns his presence, they look like a man who borrowed his clothes from a larger cousin. The fit is everything. The shoulder seam has to land exactly where your shoulder ends, not halfway down your arm, not up on your neck, exactly at the edge. The shirt has to follow the line of your body without clinging to it. There should be a little bit of room, not a lot. Ladies notice the man in the simple white shirt before they notice the man in the flashy patterned one every single time. Because the white shirt says, I don't need to shout. I don't need to decorate myself to be seen. I am comfortable enough in my own skin to let the simplicity speak. Get 3 of them. Wear them on rotation. Watch what happens. Number 2, a real leather belt. Now, let's talk about something men almost never think about, but women notice within 3 seconds of meeting you: your belt. I'm not talking about that synthetic, shiny, plasticky thing you bought at a department store 10 years ago that's starting to peel at the edges. I'm talking about a real, full-grain leather belt, the kind that has weight to it, the kind that smells like leather when you pull it out of your closet, the kind that develops a patina over the years and looks better at 10 years old than it did the day you bought it. Here's why this matters more than you think. A woman's eye travels. When she's looking at a man, her gaze moves in patterns: face, shoulders, hands, waist, shoes. That's the circuit. And the belt sits at one of the most important junction points on your entire body. It's where your shirt meets your pants. It's the frame around the middle of you. And if that frame is cheap, everything else gets downgraded in her mind. A quality leather belt in a rich brown or a deep black with a simple, understated buckle. Not one of those giant, shiny statement buckles that looks like a rodeo prize. Tells her something immediately. It tells her you know the difference between quality and junk. It tells her you're willing to invest in the details. It tells her you understand that a man isn't judged by his loud pieces, but by his quiet ones. And women love this. They love it because they have been trained their entire lives to notice the small things. The woman who picks the right handbag. The woman who wears the right earrings. She lives in a world of detail. And when she meets a man who also lives in that world, she recognizes him instantly as one of her tribe. One good belt. Take care of it. Condition the leather once a year. Let it age with you, and watch how it becomes one of those little details that earns you respect without a single word being exchanged. Number 3. The solid chronograph watch. Gentlemen, we have to talk about watches. In a world where every man under 30 is walking around with a phone in his pocket and nothing on his wrist, the older man who still wears a real mechanical analog watch is sending a signal that cuts through all the noise. And I'm not telling you that you need to spend $30,000 on a Swiss timepiece. That's not the point. The point is that you wear something. A watch, any decent watch on the wrist of an older man, communicates that he respects time, that he has somewhere to be, that he has a rhythm to his life that doesn't depend on pulling a glowing rectangle out of his pocket every 10 minutes. Women love this. They love it for reasons they often can't articulate, but I'll articulate it for you. A watch is a piece of jewelry for men that is allowed. It's the one socially sanctioned ornament a man can wear without any questions asked. And when she sees a well-chosen watch on your wrist, whether it's a vintage piece you inherited from your father, a diver's watch, a pilot's chronograph, a simple dress watch with a leather strap, she is reading the story you're telling about yourself. A leather strap watch tells her you're a thinker. A metal bracelet watch tells her you're an operator. A pilot's watch tells her you have adventures. A dive watch tells her you can handle the water. Each one is a costume choice for the character you're playing in your own life, and the mechanical nature of a real watch. The way it ticks, the way it has a face, the way it requires winding and care, parallels something women already know about good men, that they require attention, that they are built, not manufactured, that they age well with proper care. A man without a watch in his 50s or 60s looks like a man who has given up on time. A man with a watch looks like a man who is still very much in the game. Wear one, every day, even on weekends, especially on weekends. Number 4. Dark, well-tailored denim. Now, here's where I'm going to lose some of you, but stay with me. A lot of older men think they can't wear jeans anymore. They think denim is for the kids. They think once you hit a certain age, you're supposed to switch to khakis and polyester blends and call it a day. This is one of the biggest mistakes a man can make, because dark, well-tailored denim on an older man is one of the most attractive things a woman can see. Let me tell you why. Khakis, especially pleated khakis, do something terrible to the male silhouette. They make the waist look wider. They wash out the legs. They send the message that you've stopped trying. A pair of dark, straight-leg jeans in a rich indigo or nearly black wash, fitted properly through the thigh without being tight, does the opposite. It lengthens the leg. It darkens the lower half of the body, making the shoulders appear broader by contrast. It gives you structure. It gives you edge. And an older man with a little bit of edge is devastating to the female eye. Here's the rule. The denim has to be dark. The denim has to be clean. No distressing, no rips, no paint splatters, no faded thighs. Leave all of that nonsense to the guys who are trying too hard. The denim has to be simple, rich, dark, and cut well. Pair it with a quality leather shoe, a tucked-in shirt with a good belt, and you have created a silhouette that says modern man, aging on his own terms, comfortable in his body, not trapped in 1987 or in 2005. Women see an older man in good denim, and they think he knows who he is. He hasn't surrendered. He's still in the fight. 2 pairs of good jeans are worth more than 10 pairs of mediocre pants. Buy quality. Wear them until they form to your body. Let them become a part of you. Number 5. The cashmere or merino crewneck sweater. We're at the midpoint now, and I want to talk about something that's going to sound almost too sensual. I want to talk about fabric. Here's something that most men don't understand about women. They are tactile creatures. They touch things. They notice texture. They remember how things feel long after they've forgotten how things look. And when a woman is near a man, her instinct, whether she acts on it or not, is to assess the texture of what he's wearing. This is why a fine cashmere or merino wool crewneck sweater is a weapon in the wardrobe of an older man. Now listen, I'm not talking about that lumpy, pilling acrylic sweater your aunt bought you for Christmas in 2009. I'm talking about a real, soft, drapable sweater in a fine, natural fiber. The kind that sits close to the body without clinging. The kind that feels luxurious when a hand brushes against it. The kind that breathes and moves and drapes across the shoulders like it was custom made for you, even if it wasn't. An older man in a navy crewneck cashmere sweater paired with a crisp shirt collar peeking out at the neck is one of the most attractive looks in all of menswear. It says intelligent. It says warm. It says approachable. It says sophisticated without screaming it. And here's the part that gets really interesting. When a woman goes to hug a man wearing a quality cashmere sweater, something happens in her body. The softness registers, the quality registers. She doesn't need to think about it consciously. Her hands know. And when her hands know that a man has chosen to wear something beautiful next to his skin, she files that information away under a simple heading. This man takes care of himself. Colors to own. Navy, charcoal gray, a deep forest green, a burgundy for the bold. Skip the pastels, skip the bright colors. Let the richness of the fiber do the talking. Number 6, real shoes. All right, we need to have a direct conversation about your feet. I don't care if you've been wearing those same beat-up athletic sneakers since the Obama administration. I don't care if they're comfortable. I don't care if they're your favorites. I need you to hear me on this one. Women look at shoes. Not sometimes, always. It's one of the first things her eyes check when she meets a man, and it's one of the last things she registers when he walks away. If your shoes are worn out, scuffed up, generic, or worst of all, dirty athletic shoes worn in a non-athletic context, she has already made a judgment about you before you've opened your mouth. An older man who wears real shoes, actual leather shoes, is telling the world that he has graduated. He's not a teenager, he's not a college student, he's a grown man who understands that certain footwear belongs in certain contexts, and casual everyday life calls for something more elevated than rubber soles and mesh uppers. The sweet spot for older men is in these 3 categories. A quality leather loafer, either in brown suede for casual or black leather for slightly dressed up. A pair of clean, simple leather sneakers in white or cream, the kind that looks like a European man on a stroll in Milan. And a good pair of Chelsea boots, which are, in my opinion, the single most attractive shoe an older man can own. The Chelsea brood, especially sleek, elegant, slightly rugged, slightly refined, pulls on and off easily, makes every outfit look intentional. A man in dark jeans, a cashmere sweater, and Chelsea boots has just assembled 90% of what women find magnetic in a single outfit. Keep them polished, keep them clean. Replace them when they start to show real wear. Your shoes are not a place to save money. They are a place to invest in yourself. And a tip, gentlemen, when a woman compliments your shoes, you have already won. She is not someone who compliments randomly. She's someone who was already evaluating, and she was impressed enough to speak. Number 7, the scarf. All right, we've arrived at number 7, the secret weapon. The piece almost no American man ever learns to wear, but the piece that, when done correctly, elevates an older man from average to unforgettable: the scarf. And before you roll your eyes and think this is some European affectation that doesn't belong in your life, stop. Hear me out, because I'm going to explain to you why this one accessory is one of the most underutilized weapons in the older man's arsenal. A scarf does 3 things at once. First, it draws attention to the face. Women evaluate men primarily through facial presence: the jawline, the eyes, the expression, and a scarf wrapped properly around the neck creates a frame that pulls her gaze directly upward toward everything she's actually trying to assess. Second, a scarf adds texture and color to an outfit in a way that feels intentional rather than loud. You can wear an entirely neutral outfit: dark jeans, a gray sweater, black boots, and then add one scarf, and suddenly the whole look has personality. It has movement. It has a story. Third, and this is the one that really matters, a scarf communicates a very specific thing to a woman. It says, "This man is not afraid of looking sophisticated. He has lived. He has traveled. He has been places. He knows how to dress for weather, for context, for elegance." Now, here's the rule. Do not wear a scarf like you're wrapping a present. Don't tie it in tight, complicated knots. The best way for an older man to wear a scarf is the simple drape. You fold it in half, you place the loop on one side, the tails on the other. You pull the tails through the loop. Done. It hangs naturally. It looks effortless. It looks like you did not try. And this is the secret to all of men's style, by the way: the appearance of effortlessness. The woman who sees an older man in a draped scarf thinks he didn't try too hard, but he tried exactly enough. Materials matter. In colder weather, a wool or cashmere scarf in a solid color: charcoal, navy, camel. In spring and fall, a lightweight cotton or linen scarf in a subtle pattern. Avoid anything too flashy, too patterned, too busy. The scarf is meant to whisper, not to shout. I have watched men in their 60s, men who had written themselves off as invisible, add a simple charcoal cashmere scarf to their daily routine and report back that women started looking at them in ways they hadn't experienced in 20 years. Not because the scarf is magic, because the scarf signals a man who is paying attention to himself again. And when you pay attention to yourself, the world starts paying attention to you. So there it is, gentlemen, the 7 things: the white shirt, the leather belt, the watch, the dark denim, the cashmere sweater, the real shoes, the scarf. But I want to leave you with something deeper than just a shopping list. Because if you take these 7 items and throw them on without understanding what we just did together, you're going to miss the whole point. Here's what I really need you to hear. Women are not attracted to clothes. Women are attracted to the kind of man who chooses those clothes. The difference is enormous. A man who wears a great watch because he respects time is attractive. A man who wears a great watch because he saw it on a video is invisible. The objects don't carry the signal. You carry the signal. The clothes just amplify it. So when you start dressing this way, dress because you've decided you are worth the effort. Dress because you've decided that the next chapter of your life is not going to be a retreat, but an expansion. Dress because you've decided to honor the man you still are, not mourn the boy you used to be. The biggest mistake older men make is acting like their best years are behind them. I'm telling you, as someone who has seen thousands of case studies, that is a lie. A man who dresses with intention, who carries himself with awareness, who shows up to the world having made deliberate choices about how he presents himself, is a man who remains attractive at every single age. The gray hair is not a problem. The lines around the eyes are not a problem. The slower pace, the settled presence, these are not problems. They are your advantages, if you know how to frame them with the right pieces. Go buy one thing from this list this week. Just one. A good white shirt, a proper leather belt, a scarf. Don't overwhelm yourself. Build slowly. Let your wardrobe become a reflection of the man you are becoming, not the man you used to be. And when the compliments start rolling in, when you catch a woman looking twice at you in the grocery store, when you feel that old confidence waking up inside you, remember who gave you the playbook. Hit that like button if this helped you. Subscribe if you want more straight talk about dating, style, and confidence for older men. And tell me in the comments which one of these 7 you're going to try first. Your best decade is not behind you. It's in front of you. You just have to dress like you know it.